Well, good day all, and thank you for watching. I thought I'd do another video on FreeDV. My first video went so well, I was surprised how many people were interested in it. So this one's got a bit more information, and I'm excited to say that I've actually managed to key up one of the people that are involved in the writing of the program, VK3TPM. He saw my video and was quite keen to make contact with me, and he's going to talk about how it started and what it does and why it works so well. So I'm sure you'll be interested to see that. I've got chapters down the bottom so you can skip to different areas of that conversation. So I'm due to meet him shortly and on FreeDV. But here it is here, as you can see, got the waterfall, got the spectrum down the bottom here. My understanding is some of these are relevant, like that one from Mike, so that's relevant when you're PTTing. Down the side here you can record if you want to, you can resync modem. Some of these stats don't work in this new mode, which is RAV there, so we'll have a good look at that and chat to Peter about that. You've also got this reporter here, so like most digital modes you can see who's listening or who's on the channel or the frequency or whatever. That's in order of frequency. I've got it ticked at the top there, order of frequency. At the moment there's no one transmitting, but you can see when people last transmitted in this column here. You can also put a message here if you want to put a message up. So some people I've noticed perhaps haven't got their microphone sorted properly or something's wrong, and they can text me a message via this reporter app, which is very different. So that's pretty cool. So let's see if Peter's around and we'll see what he has to say.
Yeah, Peter here in Drummond. If you're around, we can talk now. Otherwise, I had it in my diary for 10 o'clock, but that's fine. I'm just having to be in the shack setting up a Mac. Yeah, how are you receiving me? VK3 TBS, VK3 TPM.
Good morning there, Peter. Yeah, I was going to do 10 o'clock, but I saw you there. Just wanted to make sure everything was working before 10, so we can chat now if you like, whatever suits you, mate. How are you doing? You sound fantastic to me. Back to you.
I'm doing very well. You sound really good too, so your audio is obviously quite good. Sometimes it's a bit of a battle to get audio levels sort of to stay up enough and not clip. I'm actually testing the next version 202, which has an AGC in the mic channel, so makes it a bit easier for me. Sometimes you get quite big variations, but yeah, look, well, anyway, sort of following up from your video where I saw you calling on 700E, and I thought, oh, gee, it's a pity not to hear how the audio sounds in this mode. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not high fidelity, but it's close. And I think one of the big benefits. I've got a friend, VK2BLQ, Stephen, who lives in Sydney in Chatswood, and of course, like a lot of people, he's in a very high noise location, and we can talk, and he has no background noise. It's just it's a beautiful thing. VK3 TBS, VK3 2PM.
Yeah, VK3 TBN, VK3 TBS. Yes, I had a couple of contacts yesterday afternoon. We mucked around with my audio level, and I don't know if we've got that right or not, but I didn't change much. It seemed to be quite good from the start, and that was good. They both hadn't used this for long neither. I think they watched my video and got onto it. I'm not sure. And here I was just blown away how clear it is. And one of them was in New South Wales, I think. Oh no, it was over in South Australia. That's right. One of them was in South Australia, and one of them was quite local to me, as in the other side of the city. So, yeah, I'm interested to learn more about it. And yeah, you can walk me through it if you've got the time. Back to you, Peter.
Yeah, sure thing, Ben. Yeah, no worries. Recording, I could give you a bit of an overview of how we got to here, because this new mode is quite a breakthrough. No, your audio level sounds good. Probably in that waveform, the from mic waveform, people try to keep it at about 0.4. it's not a logarithmic scale, it's a linear scale, so sometimes it's a bit hard to control. But as I said, there's a new version coming with a compressor, which is what I'm using. So interested in any comments on if you hear any bad effects of compression. I had been using a external mic amp that has a limiter in it, but I've turned that off. I've turned off the limiter. I'm still using the same mic thing. But yeah, good on you having a couple of contacts. Yeah, the VK5's coming quite well. As you know, we have a net on Sundays. I know you're not available, but we get a couple of VK5s and VK2s and VK7s, and it all sort of works pretty well just on 40 meters in the morning. So that's good. Um, I could give you a bit of a talk of what's the software and the breakthrough that we're experiencing at the moment, and it's by no means finished. Sort of on the way to even better things, but it's really taken off in recent just in recent weeks, and I think partially YouTube videos like yours. I think that's really helping people. Oh yeah, on the reporter, yeah, you can see who can hear you, which is a great thing. And there's a couple of colors there. There's also a purple, I think, if people update the message. But yeah, that's a really great feature of it, I think. VK3 TBS, VK3 TBM.
Oh, very good, Peter. Okay, well, I've learnt one thing up to point four. There we go. Yeah, I'm peaking at point four now. So that's good. Yeah, yeah, happy to hear and talk me through how it got to and talk me through what what I need to know. That'd be great, Peter. Back to you.
Okay, well, FreeDV, I guess people are realizing it's a cross-platform piece of software, runs on Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. I normally run on Linux because I can get the latest version, the builds. I'm sort of interested in that, but they all work very well. It's a credit to Munir, who's the main developer of the client. It's all open source, and I often build from source. But basically, it lets you transmit speech digitally over HF radio. And the speech codec, which is the thing that turns voice or speech into a low bitrate stream, was developed by David Rowe, VK5 DGR. Uh, I saw the project that David was doing when he made Codec 2 open source. It must be 10 years ago, and I thought it was a really great thing because all the speech codecs were proprietary and very expensive. But yeah, he did his PhD on low bitrate speech codecs last century, so he's got some background, and of course he's not encumbered by patents and things. So Codec 2 is a world-leading codec. It's pretty much as good as the commercially available ones. And the 700D mode, I think, was probably the last of that line. It can send understandable speech over a 700 bit per second channel, which is amazing because it's really like sending 3 kilohertz over 700 bits. But I think what put people off was the speech sounds somewhat robotic. It's rather like the low bit rate speech codecs like AMBE, which is of course used on commercial radios and DMR. So the way these work is that rather than sending the actual audio waveform, it uses handcrafted software to analyze the speech audio, and they extract features like the pitch, the loudness, and the spectrum. And this low bit rate, of course, is much lower than what would be needed to send the whole waveform. So as I said, you're getting kind of 3 kilohertz of bandwidth in 700 boards. So then that's turned into bits. There's a modem which is used to send the bit stream over the radio, and that uses traditional modern modem technology like ODFM or orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, which has multiple carriers. I think the latest one is 33 carriers. And each one of them is QPSK, which is quadrature phase shift keying, which sends 2 bits at a low bit rate. So each of them, I think, is 50 baud. There is also forward error correction added because there's errors. When you go over HF radio, you get obviously interference, but you'll also see fading, and you can get, if you look at the waterfall, you'll see quite deep dips that sort of slide across all the carriers. And so there's in the old one, there's forward error correction, which can correct those errors to some extent. At the receiving end, the bit stream is recovered and sent to a thing called a vocoder, which turns the speech features back into speech audio. And that's the thing that was rather robotic. Now, recent advances in machine learning have improved vocoders, and in particular, there's a guy called Jean-Marc Vallin who developed the Fargan vocoder, and he's also he worked on the Speaks audio software, uh, and Fargan uses machine learning, a model that was trained on sample speech and feature data, and it can create a much more natural sounding speech result. Now, Jean-Marc approached David Rowe with a proposal to also to put Fargan into FreeDV, but also to try applying machine learning to the modem part, the actual over-the-air part, including that error-prone radio channel. So yeah, the one we're using now, the latest version of FreeDV, includes what they call the radio auto encoder. It's shortened to RAID, RADE, and it uses a machine learning model that's been trained using reinforcement learning to transmit speech over this noisy HF channel. So the training took some known text, it turned it into speech, transmitted that over a simulated bad HF channel, it turned it back into speech, and it used a speech to text recognizer, which then scored the accuracy of the transmission. And that's feedback to this machine learning model. And that was run many times, and it then built a model that was able to send the speech accurately. Interestingly, it uses QPSK, but I don't know if you've seen the constellation, the little graph with 4 quadrants in it. Normally they have kind of dots, noisy dots in each of the 4 quadrants. If you have a look at the one generated by RAID, it just looks like noise. We really don't understand how on earth the machine learning model has figured out how to do it, but it does it. And using machine learning to do this has actually made the architecture of FreeDV simpler than it was, because some of the components, things like forward error correction and the generation and decoding of QPSK, have been basically figured out by the model. It's worked out a way to do it. So the upshot is that RAID V1, what we're using now, works better than a handcrafted codec, and it sounds, as you can hear, more natural. And I wouldn't say high fidelity, but it's certainly much better than the commercial low bitrate codecs. RAID v1 is currently implemented using the Python PyTorch modules, machine learning modules. And that means that the FreeDV app at the moment is quite large. It has to include a bundled Python interpreter, and work is underway to not only improve how it works in a future version of RAID, but also to rewrite that software from Python into C and C++. So the application will be smaller and it'll be easier to install. Currently, the Windows installer has to sort of download extra stuff. So then look, FreeDV activity, as you've seen, is showing increases. We've now got regular nets in several parts of the world, including Australia. And those bits are listed on the freedv.org page. For some reason, it's really popular in Japan. We don't quite know why. There's also groups in Germany, the UK, US, of course. And as I said, I think it's particularly great for those of us who suffer from local radio interference, as you get pretty good sounding speech with zero background noise. So I don't know what you feel about it, but I think it's a really exciting, we're at sort of a turning point in a number of ways. Digital speech over amateur radio, but also applications of machine learning in amateur radio. Back to you. Sorry about the big rave. VK3 TDS, VK3 TPM. I'm testing an early build of the next version 202, which has AGC, which is a feature I proposed after hearing problems people were having getting levels right. So it's very active. Both David and Mimi are incredibly smart, productive developers. It's just amazing the pace of work they're doing. As I said, David's well underway on a future version of RAID. But at the moment, what we're trying to do is build interest, and that's why reaching out to popular influencers like yourself is important to us, and we really want to get more activity on air, so that people, when they hear it, sort of go, what is that? What is that digital signal? I don't recognise that. So hopefully they'll start to know what it is. But look, it's going quite well. We're pretty happy with how it's growing at the moment. As I said, I think that in these days of high noise levels, this is a great transition to go across to digital voice. Well, I mean, once you install FreeDV, I guess the challenges are the audio setup because you have to tell it how to get microphone audio, how to output audio for you to listen to. So typically we recommend using an external USB audio device. You can just get little dongles. They work quite well. It used to be that the bit rates, the sample rates had to be the same, 44 kilohertz on all of the audio devices. And I don't think that's required now, but it it means that the computer has to do less work because it doesn't have to resample. So yeah, you've got to specify. Now there's an easy setup in the tools menu. It comes up the first time you install, and that usually works. It just asks you where's the radio, where's the mic, and it fills in the input and output on that. If that doesn't get it right, sometimes people have multiple devices. There's a more advanced audio configuration when you have two panels where you go through and say which one is which. The next one, of course, is cat control, which uses hamlib. And if you've used digital modes before, then you've probably got that sort of working. But if not, then there are some traps on Windows and Linux in particular, where you've got to give permission. You've got to be in Linux, you've got to be in the dial-out group. And if you don't get that connection right, unfortunately, hamlib, which is what's used underneath, is rather synchronous. And so what happens is it tries to talk to the radio and it kind of sits there for 2 minutes before it times out. It gives you this horrible looking error message, which basically means, look, I didn't get a response back from the radio. So that's the other challenge. There's also a filter window. I can bring that up. And the filter window actually gives you a whole lot of power, including noise suppression, and you can also do equalization of your microphone and also the received audio you can equalize. To be honest, I find it's fine. I've just left it as is. What's coming in version 2.02 is automatic gain control on the mic channel, and that will be a switch. I'm looking at it now in this pre-release build. That will really help. Now with the mic level, when you're transmitting, you get a graph showing from mic, and I think it's a linear graph, so it's a little bit hard to control. You should be up around zero point 0.4, the amplitude of your speech, and you should not clip. And there's in 201, I think that's in 201, there's a mic and speaker level slider on the main window, so you can turn that up and down if that's within range. Otherwise, you might have to go back to your operating system's audio controls to set the sensitivity of the mic. I know on Windows, they can be very low. Some of the USB headsets have really low audio for some reason, so you might have to boost that up. Walking around the window, you've got signal to noise ratio. That's probably the main way we look at how people are receiving. Now, I can see that you're getting me about SNR of 10. The amazing thing about FreeDV is we'll work down to a signal to noise ratio of about 0. And one of the demonstrations we do is compare a single sideband transmission at, say, 1 dB with RAID. The single sideband transmission is almost inaudible. It's really hard to hear. And the digital mode is almost perfect. So I think this version is better than the past ones because now we're exceeding what you get with sideband over the same signal to noise channel, which is a really great achievement. I know David has had it as an objective for many years. And what it means is this is competitive. I mean, it's very hard to beat single sideband. It's the most efficient way of transmitting an analog signal over the radio. This system is, I think, better. And of course, you don't get the background noise. You might get the occasional blip. There is some sort of error correction going on in the machine learning model. You can also record audio, or you actually record the incoming radio audio to a file and play that back. There's multiple diagrams there. The scatter diagram I mentioned doesn't seem to do much, well, because the machine learning's taken care of it. Some of these are only applicable to the old modes, 700D and so on, and they don't really make much sense at the moment for this new mode. But look, yeah, I think we're at an exciting time, and if people are going for the first time, sometimes I have people, I can see them there and they can't transmit. It'll either be a cat problem or an audio problem, but bear with it and figure it out. I spoke to someone the other day who said, I wish there was a way to test, and I think probably the way to test is to tune into one of the nets So yeah, freedv.org for that. Okay, Ben, well, great to meet you. I was getting you 23, signal to noise 23, so you're going really well there. So it's a great solid signal, perfect reception really. But yeah, look, thanks for your interest and welcome aboard. Yeah, I can see a few stations have tuned in there. Up VK2s, yeah, we've got, I can see QSB, VK2, JXB, VK2, GTS. Hope those of you who are on can come up on Sunday morning, 10:30 Eastern Time, when we have a net. But yep, thanks, Ben. Great to meet you and keep up the good work. Cheers, mate.
So under Tools and Options, you can set the display colors for FreeDV Reporter. So you can see TX goes red, stations that hear you are this color, green, bluey color, and anyone that's got a message updated will go pink. So you could see that one in the background that just went red. He was obviously transmitting. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what Peter has to say. That was fantastic. I've got a couple more contacts that I've made. I'll put them on now and you can have a listen and see how they sounded. One of them was from some distance away using very low watts, and I had quite a bit of noise at the time. VK3 ALS, VK3 TBS.
Hey, good afternoon, Ben. VK3 PBS, VK3 ILS returning. So good afternoon to you, and I heard you were talking to Phil before. I was e-leading on the side. So anyhow, sounds like you've got it all working okay. So my name's Tony, Tango Oscar November Yankee, located down in Tullamarine, Wappa Tullamarine, near the airport. VK3 TBS, VK3 ILS.
VK3 ALS, VK3 TBS. G'day, Tony. Yes, you got the name right, Ben. Seems a great system. Can't believe how clear it is. And yeah, looks like a few people can hear me. 4 or 5. Oh, I'm one of them. So 4 people can hear me. Wonder what your experience is with FreeDV, Tony, and what are you usually on this band? Yeah, do you use it somewhere else? What experience have you had? Back to you, mate.
VK3 TBS, VK3 ILS returning. Now, well, I'm a relative newcomer too. I installed it and searched around YouTube, watched your video. Yeah, very, very pleased with it myself. It worked out much better than I expected, to be honest, audio quality wise and everything else. And there's a few little tricks you learn, of course, when you by trial and error. And at the moment, I can look at it and see I'm transmitting. I can see KES and 3YV and yourself and Roger Mike. So all receiving me. So that's good. Gets a little bit of international traffic, but of course the band's got to be open. So it's a good mode and it's a lot of fun. The comment mode is quite handy too, which means you can send. I had a German station talking to me on the comments message mode because we couldn't get through on 20 metres. So it's handy in that respect. But the TX attenuation, if you're still setting it up, mine's set to about -10 dB. That's monitored on the ALC and on the transceiver here, the 7300, and the audio gain of the USB microphone is set for other modes, of course, like Echo Link and everything else. So you've sort of got a compromise. VK3 TBS, VK3 ALS.
VK3 ALS, VK3 TBS. I've just adjusted it now to -10 because that's what you do. So I'll follow your footsteps. Yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm recording you now, so if you're okay with that, I might put you on a video. And I just find it amazing. The audio quality makes me wonder. I wonder when Yosu or Kenwood or ICOM or whoever will bring out a digital mode for HF, and then you won't have to use a computer to run it.
I don't know. I guess new transceivers will come out with different modes. VK3 TBS, VK3 ALS.
VK3 TBS, returning to you, Tony. But thank you for those little tips. That's good to see. So there we go. That's FreeDV version 2.01. Like Peter said earlier, version 2.02 is coming. Won't be far away, and that should bring in a couple more different things. So look forward to seeing that. But really, I think the current version is fantastic. It's great to hear how it started and why it's working, and I do wonder whether ICOM, Yosu, or Kenwood or someone will bring out a digital mode like this, or maybe it is this, in their radios inbuilt, so you don't need to plug in a computer. If that happens, it might be a bit of a game changer. But look, this is great. I love testing different things. It's good to. That's what amateur radio is. It's about testing things, making friends, and yeah, having fun. And yeah, this is quite fun. Even though there was quite a bit of noise on the band, I was still able to hear people really well through that noise. Absolutely amazed. Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to look at my blog as well. Don't forget to look at my blog as well. There's lots more information there on all sorts of different topics. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and feel free to share it around. I think with a lot of people able to use this, it'll pick up momentum. Thanks again. Look forward to next time.